One is that you will find people that we all speak the same language of fandom, which is really cool.
Sure.
The second thing that you will find, no matter where you go, no matter what con you're at on the planet, terrible lighting.
Yeah.
The same...
So, Todd Haberkorn, between us gals, it was worse yesterday.
Was it?
It was worse. So, imagine this, dimly lit, not quite set up yet, so it's looking like we're in a murder warehouse. Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, just legally, I have not been to many murder warehouses.
Legally, he says.
But, like, how cool would it be to have, like, there's got to be a way to do it where, like, you have an awning that has special lighting just for, like, you know, like an inflatable, like, little roof awning that has, like, LED strips that you smart strips that you can control the lighting.
Programmed to light.
Yeah. Give us 2 hours. We'll be right back.
2 hours and a good $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah. Where's the Best Buy? Is there a Best Buy around here? Yeah.
West Side. Okay.
On the west, it's just on the west. How far is that from here? Okay, who wants to do a field trip?
I was about to say, hold on. Is it a good Best Buy? Because you know, there's like the good Best Buys and the bad Best Buys. Okay.
Oh, we'll chill then.
I was about to say, I'm getting conflicting. This half says good Best Buy. This one says not so much.
You know what? I need to do a dress rehearsal on this Best Buy first before I bring everybody.
A trial run.
Yeah. So let me go scope this Best Buy out.
Appreciate
and then we'll see if they have the capability to provide an inflatable smart LED strip lighting capability for a stage.
How cool would this be though? Like on the bottom of it though, it's like a bounce house because it's already inflated.
Oh yeah. That would be nice.
Throw an extra $5,000 in that. I feel like we can make that happen.
Let me scope out this Best Buy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, inflatable lighting structures aside, welcome to Kansas Comic-Con. This is Todd Haberkorn.
Hi, y'all.
This show is not only for you guys can be a part of it. We've got a mic down here in the middle aisle. Throughout this interview, please feel free to line up behind that mic and you'll get your question answered.
And thank you all for being here on this is the one March 15th of 2025 you will ever have in your life, and you're spending it here. That is a huge vote of confidence that I appreciate and recognize and am thankful for. You will never get. This is it, guys. Sorry.
This is it.
You're never going to get another March 15th, 2025, ever. Not just like, oh, we'll see it in 10 years, we'll get another one. This is it. And this is where you've chosen to be today, and I thank you for it. That is awesome.
Hopefully there's no buyer's remorse from hearing that.
If there is, tell me at 7 p.m. when I'm gone. But thank you for being here.
So I know we got a lot to talk about, anime, video games, all of that fun stuff. Before we get to that, I wanted to really make sure we had enough time to talk about Humane Beings.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
The Humane Beings, yeah. That's so... We're in our 6th month, actually. We're actually recording our next podcast for it Monday. Now, I know what you're saying. Everybody's got a podcast. It's because everybody's got a podcast. But I felt like we needed to do it because we have a newsletter that comes out each month. I'm working from the top back. We have a newsletter for the Humane Beings that comes out, but if people want to hear it as opposed to read it, particularly, I guess, because I tend to dabble in voiceover, I'm like, let's do a podcast version. So it's the newsletter in podcast form. But they're both a little different. So that we record that on Monday. But we have a 501c3, a nonprofit animal welfare foundation called the Humane Beings. The easiest thing to do is, if you want to follow, go to thehumanebeings.org. You'll see all our socials. You'll see where our podcasts are. You can support us if you are philanthropic with animal welfare visions and missions. The easiest thing if you want to donate is text the word humane to 801-801. Boom, you're in. But what we do is we raise funds and awareness for shelters and sanctuaries globally. We just started. We're in our 6th month. So instead of being a sanctuary ourselves, because there are so many, we're like, what do they always have a problem with? Finding funding and getting people to be aware of them. And so that's what we are. That's what we do. We just do that. And also, I think it works out. In my head, the reason I was like, let's go that route is because originally we were looking at land to have
Acting legend. Oh, we having issues?
I just was like, I fiddle.
They're kind of fun to fiddle. It's almost like, what are those called? What are those? The fidget spinners.
Fidget spinner.
Yeah,
The quickest business model to ever come and go in the history of business models.
It worked though. I had like 4 of them.
The best fidget spinners. We've got a lot of fidget spinners here. Pretty good fidget spinners. We've got plastic ones, we've got metal ones, we've got ones made of glass.
I feel like if I just close my eyes, I just imagine.
A tariff on all fidget spinners. But yeah, I had a fidget spinner.
Okay.
And I went to a convention when they were first coming out, and the guy had a beautiful booth. And he goes, 6 months ago, this business didn't exist. Here I am and he was like saying it in a way that was like, my business, my fidget spinner business is going crazy. And then he gave me one, and it was awesome. I still have it. And then where did he
I mean, he's a millionaire now. I'm sure
he must be.
Listen, he got in. It was just like the GameStop stock. He got in when it was hot and got out of it when it was no longer profitable.
That's what you got to do. You got to know.
Yeah.
You got to know.
Buy low, sell high. Ladies and gentlemen, I first wanted to start off this interview by asking, how did we get here? Obviously, we all know you as the acting and voice acting legend that you are, philanthropist, but how did it start? How did young Todd Haberkorn get to this point?
How did I get here? So I guess 3 years ago I decided voiceover. No, a little bit longer than that. For me, it was a type of thing where I started off in stage, and then I went to film, television, and then VO. Voiceover was like, you know when you're playing a video game, and
Like Spider-Man.
like Spider-Man or like Elden Ring. Yeah, maybe Destiny, but you're on a mission, and you're like, well, what's over in that cliff over there? That's what voiceover was. I never thought it was a thing because when I was a kid, I was made fun of a lot for my voice. But when it came time to read in class, I was always the one they pointed to. But I didn't connect those two. I just go like, oh, mean kids making fun of me.
I don't want to do what the mean kids are making fun of.
Yes. And then when we get to class and it's time to read in class, they'd be like, Todd, do it. Never connecting that it's like, oh, maybe I should do, because the thing is when I was a kid, voiceover and all that, it was, and it's still kind of like it is today. It's almost like the voiceover industry doesn't want you to know who voices what. Like, let me explain. Yes, you can find out who the cast is, and if you've been fortunate enough to work on things, you can spot the voice. But it's not like it's readily out there. Meaning, when you make a movie, they're like, that's Adrian Brody, that's Halle Berry, this is Keanu Reeves. They lead with that. With TV show, movie, who's in it? Oh, we've got this actor. Idris Elba's going to be Knuckles. We got to let people know. With Helldivers, because I see Helldivers right there. They didn't say Todd Haberkorn is General Brash, and he's going to walk you through the tutorial. They didn't say that. They go, come play Helldivers. So the industry is built to not highlight the actor at all. That's why I've been so fierce about saying like, no, I'm in this. Not just like General Brash is in it or the Drifter. It's like I'm the Drifter. Like I make it a point to do that because ain't nobody helping me do that. Ooh, it's totally different from movies. When Nicolas Cage does a movie, they don't go, there's this brand new badass movie coming and Nicolas Cage, he's in it. They go, no, Nicolas Cage is in this new movie. So they don't do that with VO. So imagine if they still don't do it now, how rare it was back in the day. So when I'm watching the original run of X-Men, and now I'm in X-Men 97, which is a really cool full circle thing, even though I killed Xavier. Sorry, Charles. Back then, I didn't know VO was a thing. I thought, and I know this sounds dumb, I thought that when Batman the Animated Series, Batman and Robin go to the studio, they record their lines, and then literally Batman and Robin go home to Wayne Manor or whatever it is they did on their off time. I did not know, oh, Kevin Conroy goes to the studio and records. So that's why I didn't think VO was an option. So I'm like, I'm gonna do movie, I'm gonna do TV, and then, and I trained, and my degree is in theater, acting, and then I went to the Governor's School of the Arts. I won acting awards, and very thankfully, and then it just progressed into voiceover by pure accident. I did not think it was a thing. And then someone said, you should come audition for this, And then thinking back on my life when I sit there, it's like when you watch a movie and you see these little clues. You're like, oh, maybe he's a bad guy because he does always carry a butcher knife with him, or, oh, he does have a mask made of human flesh. Maybe he's a bad guy. But there were all these clues in my life that let me know VO was going to be there. Like, when I was a kid, a lot of you, when you were kids, you may have been hanging out with your friends. You may have been having sleepovers. Guess what I was doing? I was in my room, voicing entire film scripts by myself.
The writing was on the wall.
Wow,
you just couldn't quite read it.
Sounds like a lot of fun when you say it out loud like that. By myself, voicing every character because I was an only child with no friends. That's not true. I had this imaginary friend.
He was great, always with me. But yeah, I was in my room voicing these movies by myself. And so then it just naturally led to VO, and then I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. And so I went to LA when I kind of felt like I hit a ceiling with Funimation, and I was like, I could stay here, and I could just work in this space forever and ever, and it totally would have been, it would have been a path. But I was like, let me unlock an alternate ending. Let me see if I go to LA. So think about how freaking crazy this is. You got a guy who...
This guy.
This guy. An half Asian mutt. I don't even I was doing modeling and stuff like that, but never
humble brag.
No. It was weird, never like a Johnny Depp ad. It was always like, we need an odd model for this. It was never like,
Sherry, get me someone weird.
It really kind of was. So think about that. There's a guy that knows he's got a weird look, that is being told by casting directors, we don't know what to do with your look. Being told, you won't be in commercials because you're not full Asian, you're not full white. It's weird. And they literally pulled out a chart, and they go, here's the last Subway commercial. Blonde hair, blue eye guy, here's the spike. You, probably down here somewhere. So imagine being told all that, knowing that I had a weird voice, and going, you know what I should do? Let's go to the most expensive city in the world, the home of entertainment, and see what I can do. Who does that? Well, I did. But it didn't have to go the way it's gone. It could have, but so the reason I say that is it's through sheer force of will and beautiful, beautiful decisions by the village that has been around me that I don't even know about, meaning casting directors, agents that did think they knew what to do with my look or my sound. But there's no, but it shouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that it should work. And so that's what, for me, then you think well, why did you do that? Why did you have all these no's and then you said, let me still do it? I don't know. I think it might have been because it's oftentimes I was always kind of the weird one out in my group anyway. In my theater classes, I was the only Asian kid. In my college classes, all 4 years, I was the only Asian kid. I was the only this, a lot, whatever this is, I was the only this in all forms of things I was doing. So it made sense in my mind to go all right, let's go to LA. But on paper, it shouldn't work at all. But I did.
Oh, wait, and you found something that worked for you. There's millions of voices in the world. There's only one Todd Haberkorn voice.
And there's only one of you. There's only one of you. There's only one of you. And that's something that I didn't embrace until last week. Because for so long, I'm I don't sound like blah. I don't sound like duh. I don't sound like... Because when I was in theater, the thing that I prided myself on was character creation. Was creating characters that weren't me. And so then when you come to LA, they're like, no, we want your essence because it's the only one. We want that. But that's why I messed up early on in my film auditions in LA, is because I was trying to create characters in the audition not realizing that they just wanted me. Because when you see a movie star, when you see actors on screen, it's really kind of just them. Tom Cruise. Except Tropic Thunder, who does Tom Cruise play in every movie? Tom Cruise. Will Smith, every movie. Kevin Hart, every movie. So that didn't click for me till like, what's today, the 15th? The 10th.
Something like that.
Monday.
You just hyped it up. You just said, oh, it's 15.
Oh, she kind of got you there.
Yeah.
You did that.
Well, but that's a different part of my brain. So,
Got the right one activated.
yeah,
right now.
yeah. So, yeah, then we're here. That's how we got here.
Now tell me this though. Did we have that epiphany like at home or in a garden surrounded by trees, or did we have it in like the Arby's drive-thru?
You know, I haven't done Arby's in probably 15 years.
Oh, you gotta. We've got
Well, but
two
see-
sandwiches, $7.
But see, animal activist,
Oh, that's right.
plant-based lifestyle.
Good for you.
But you know, I can make a mean plant-based Arby's sandwich. It's pretty good.
Actually sounds pretty
It's
good.
pretty good.
Let's roll over to the audience. So, first off, what's your name?
I'm Joey. Hi.
Joey, hi. Good to see you again. Now, Joey, I was not transparent with you guys 100%.
Yeah.
You guys can ask a question, but we get to ask you a question first.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
Joey, your question is, if you could have a plant-based version of one of your favorite foods, what would it be?
Oh, well, I'm actually going vegetarian and
Oh, very
doing all
timely.
plant-based.
Love it.
So yeah, so that's really exciting. In fact,
All the
we should make
animals
a
thank
cookbook
you.
because I would, so I haven't really had a lot of meat in like a year.
Good for
so
you.
I'm already kind of doing plant-based stuff.
Head of the curve.
And yeah, no, I can't really think of anything.
you're already doing great.
Sometimes I miss like roast, like the specific caraway of roast. Do you have like a
Omni,
suggestion?
yes. So they do amazing things with mushrooms.
Yes.
Mushrooms
okay.
taste just. I mean, like when I was at the Elephant Nature Park in Thailand, working with elephants there for a week, and they provided every meal, and they use a lot of mushroom stuff, and
Yeah.
it really does when you marinate it. Because a lot of times. That's a whole different panel, but there are options for you.
Well,
Joey,
I
what-
haven't cooked a lot with mushrooms, so I'll have to look into
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Joey, what's your question?
First of all, thank you for coming to Kansas Comic Con.
Thank you for having me.
I've actually met you several times before, and I was so stoked to see that you were coming here because you're kind of why I bought the ticket. I was like, yes, Todd! There's
Yeah.
not a time you're not delightful.
Please tell the casting directors that.
I will!
Whenever I come in
Todd
the-
is hilarious and awesome and fun. I've got stupid pictures with you. Like,
I do these auditions and I'm gonna go on a little rant real
Yeah,
quick.
go for it.
Okay, so whenever this is how crazy voiceover is. So in the film world, whenever a role comes out, the casting director is like, oh my god, what you do, your magic, we want that on screen. Don't change a thing. Robert Downey Jr., we love that. In voiceover, I could voice 1,000 different characters, and they're like, yeah, but can he do this character?
Can you do a German accent?
He's done it 1,000 different ways, but we're just not sure if he can do it this particular way. As if they're discovering the one way that I haven't voiced something. Listen,
like you haven't been spending all this time in your room.
happy to get the audition, happy to have the shot, but I mean, it is different. In the film world, it's like, Robert Downey, he doesn't need to audition. He's got it, we see it. Voiceover, yeah, he's done it 1,000 times, but I just don't know if he can play this hero that wields fire.
Can he do it while walking on hot coals?
Yes! Anyway,
I believe
rant
you
done.
What's your question, Joey?
Okay, so my question is, at what point in your career did you look at yourself and go like, wow, I made it, like I did something cool, like where you felt really awesome about it, you felt good about where you were? Please tell me you felt that, because we all feel that.
Thank you. It's where I felt contentment, I guess, is what you're
Okay.
asking. There are
I want you to
moments.
feel more than that, but okay.
There are moments when I go through I try to lead with gratitude.
Yeah.
Because in the entertainment industry, coupled with what I see in the animal rescue world, it's really hard not to get cynical.
So I do check-ins, gratitude check-ins a lot. I'm talking simple things, like for example, I'm grateful I get to walk down the hall in my house, because we have friends that when the LA fires happened, their house of 20 years completely gone, everything gone. So it's little things like that, or like, oh my gosh, I can go for a run today. There are people that are like, they would love to go for a run, but the legs don't work. You know, it's stuff like, so it's little check-ins like that. In those moments, I have gratitude. In terms of overall about what I've thankfully been a part of and accomplished, that's harder, because I just don't think, my challenge is, I guess I operate differently in the world of logging things. For me, for me, the contentment comes in continuing to work in the world.
I appreciate that answer actually a lot. I respect that. Yeah.
It's something that I want to be able to step back and like go like, okay, cool. Like I see where, I mean, everyone's different though. Everyone's like this though. There are moments where you're like, I feel like if someone were to come and try to attack my dragon's cave of achievement, then that's when that's when our ego comes into play, and we're like, I've done da 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 da, blah, 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 blah. I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because they always say, you know, the smart guy doesn't talk about how smart he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about how smart he is.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of tests. They say it's the best score of any president in the universe. Black holes included. Any president's hiding in black holes is the best test. And so I try to, I also, it's how I view, it's that thing where I was talking about how voice actors are viewed, where it's like we're sidelined a little bit. So we're more like session players. So as opposed to being the Eddie Van Halen, no, we're not Eddie Van Halen. We're the guy that goes into the studio to play on your track as Eddie from 10 to noon. Yeah. And then from 1 to 3, we're going to this studio to play like Metallica. And then so we hop around and do different band adventures, but really we know just as much as Eddie.
Right.
It's a weird thing, you know? So that it's almost like the industry doesn't want you to bust through and be known as the voice. Right. They want you to remain
versatile,
hidden in a way. And I'm like, no, I get one life. I get one March 15th. Let me, you know.
Well, thank you so much for answering our question.
Thank you.
Joey. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Alicia.
Hi.
Alicia, your question is, if you had one superpower, what would it be?
That is a hard one. But
you can do it, I believe in you.
Taking after Natsu, probably fire.
Fire, that's a good call. Nice.
What's your question?
First, can I hand you some stickers, I think?
Let me see these stickers. Oh, thank you. I'm going to put these on my case. We have cases that, travel with us. These are going on them. So hopefully when TSA sees us, they're like, this case is too pretty to just throw about.
Yeah.
Which they always do. Thank you.
I gotta tell you, you're braver than me. If a random person just handed me stickers, I'd be a little more apprehensive.
Oh, I'm all about it. If you were trying to kill me,
what a way to do it.
I guess it's my time. Yeah.
I also want to say I love you as Hikaru, I love you as Natsu, I also love you in Ghost Hunt, and my question is actually about Ghost Hunt. What was your feeling about doing Ghost Hunt? Because it's a lot different than a lot of the other characters you've done.
Yeah.
But I love what you did with it.
It was a lot of fun to try to get through all the monologues of Naru in time. There's a lot of information. We called it our Scooby-Doo anime when we were recording it. It was fun to work on. I mean, always a pleasure to work with everyone in there. Travis, Jason, Jeremy. I mean, Jeremy and I had such a blast. Always do, still do. We just had dinner the other night. Just continue. Like that's my little sister, you know. And so it's always great to work with her.
Thank you.
Thank you for the stickers.
No problem. Have a nice day.
Awesome. Hello. What's your name?
Zora.
Zora. First off, love the Majima cosplay.
Thank you.
Which brings me to my question: what's your favorite video game?
Yakuza, of course.
Yakuza. Yeah.
Have you played Like a Pirate?
Oh, no, not sure if I actually really want to. I haven't.
It's so good.
I give your character a lot of grief, a lot of problems I cause for you.
What's your question?
So I'm wondering, I'm sorry if I remind you of some fangirl trauma, but how did you even get the voice for Italy and Italia? Like, were they just like, you got the main
You
voice?
want to hear the full story of how I got
Italy?
Natalia?
All right, I'll buckle in.
Okay.
Break it down.
Okay, so initially, when we got this show Hitalia, first of all, we never heard of a show that was like 5-minute episodes. What? About countries that talk? So the audition was like, okay, prep all these different accents. So I thought, not knowing anything about the show, that I had to prep realistic accents. So I prepped all these different accents, and I come in and then we see the show and we're like, oh, this is like complete, like absolute. I am so wrong on this. And so initially, I was actually England for season 1, and the guy that did Italy, he didn't like the humor of the show, so he quit. So then they needed someone to go do Italy, and so then I was like, they wanted me to audition, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do my Mario voice. And they're like, yes, that's what we want. Let's go. And so I was like, okay. And then I did it, and they're like, that's it. And so then that's when it switched to Italy. And so then when we premiered that show, first of all, that show sold out on Amazon. Like you could not get it. The pre-orders sold out on that show. We couldn't even get copies. And at that time, James Cameron Avatar, that had come out, and that was the top grossing movie of like all time. We beat that on Amazon. And so then when we premiered the show, we were at Otakon, which is up in Baltimore, and there were 4,000 people in a room ready to watch the premiere. Right when we were about to start it, we were all there, we're all in the front row ready to go, fire alarm goes off. So then they have to get not just the 4,000 people in there, but the other 36,000 people in the building, all out the door, all at once. Because the fire department has to come through and go through every floor. It's Baltimore. It's very windy and cold. I'm dressed like this. And so we go outside, we wait till they sweep the building, they find out what the cause was. The cause was a grease fire. And so a grease fire was the cause. So I was like, okay, I mean, that's on brand. And so then we came back and we watched it. But that's how I got the role. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Grateful that I was able to talk to you.
Me too. Go play that
Thank
game.
you. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Abby.
Hi, Abby.
Abby, this is going to be a real low-hanging fruit question. What's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh gosh. Depends on the version, but I think my favorite version from all the iterations, 2012 Raphael.
2012 Raphael. You got a favorite Ninja Turtle?
Well, the problem is knowing them. Like I like all of them, the actors. So it's like in terms of my favorite. I mean, Donatello. I feel like
Honestly.
you know.
Everyone loves Donatello.
Yeah.
And I kind of argue with myself because like my favorite color is purple, and like, do I really only like Donatello because he's purple?
That's what I was thinking too. Is I'm like I do like purple, so it might be that.
Not very an objective answer, but what's your
Yeah.
question?
Okay, so despite my Ninja Turtle outfit, I am actually asking you about Transformers, because you were in War for Cybertron trilogy, and you played Red Alert and Shockwave. So I was wondering, on the Decepticon Autobot scale, based on your experience with those two characters, would you rather be a Decepticon or an Autobot?
I feel like the Decepticons ultimately never win.
Is that the game or the show?
So I feel like ego-wise, I got to be Autobot. But Decepticon-wise, I feel like we just turn into cooler things.
I mean, Megatron turns into a tank.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also turn into a jet in some varieties.
And also, there is one other little side quest Transformer thing that I did. So there's that game World of Tanks. I was Grimlock in that one. Be Grimlock. So I did that and destroyed my voice for that game. A lot harder to do Grimlock than Shockwave. But happy to be a part of both. So I would say, depends on the day. If I'm really cynical, I gotta go Decepticon. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
2014 me is so excited to be here.
Yay! Thank you, Abby.
Hi, what's your name?
Mavis.
Mavis.
Nice tat.
Woo! Mavis, your question is, what's your favorite dessert?
Mochi ice cream.
Mochi ice cream.
Yes.
What's your
nice.
question?
So I know everybody has kind of a ritual or routine for getting into a character. I would like to know what yours is getting into the various characters, like just overall.
Getting into character, you know, for me, I feel very, very fortunate that I am behind the mic every day. So, in a way, there's a shorthand. So for me, in terms of getting into character, all I need is either the writer or the director to be my compass. And when they guide me, I need just a few little coordinates. And if I can get the coordinates, I can hone in on where we're trying to go. So if you just tell me just a few, I'm like, oh, we're trying to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, I know how to get there. So then I can activate that in my brain. So I think that I know that some people, they have a whole vocal warm-up regimen that they do and things like that. And if that works for them, cool. I go the AC/DC method. And if you've ever heard Brian Johnson talk, he talks about how he just goes out there and he grabs the mic and is ready to say, "Peggy Black! I hit the mic! So good to be back! I'm Shockwave! Red Alert!" So it's like, and so I kind of go that route. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that Fairy Tale Guild of Kansas is here to say hi to you. My Juvia is right there.
Hello.
We've got Gray here, and then unfortunately Natsu and Lucy weren't able to make it today, but we just all wanted to say hello.
But you've got Gray. Okay.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
That's true.
I want a picture with
Hi, what's your name?
Good. That's Gray's slogan. I'm better than nothing.
Hi, what's your name? Hello, my name is Aiden. This is my first convention ever.
in the corner.
Nice. Congratulations on your first con.
Well, now that this is your first con, what's your first question?
My first question for you is, I really enjoyed you in the Gashi Kashi. I don't know if it's pronounced it, but
Oh, Dagashikashi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, like, what's your thoughts on doing like slice of life ESK kind of shows?
Doing a slice of life show for me, it's all great. I mean, there's never a project or production or a game or anything that I don't like doing. It's more about it's the crew behind it. So the material I can always enjoy, but it's the people that are helming it. If they're a problem, then I'll remember them. And then if they're great, I'll remember them in a different way. But no, working on Dagashikashi was a lot of fun because I learned all about Japanese candies that I didn't know, and we tried them all. During the show, I got a giant box of Dagashi, and we tried all the different ones to see which ones we liked and such. It was cool. Kyle Phillips directed that show. I flew down to Texas every week for 12 episodes to do that show. So I got a lot of time on a plane. I'm so glad you're here at your first con.
Thank you so much. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi. What's your name?
I'm Anna.
You know what? Turn that mic, grab that mic and go
Just a little
bam,
bit.
right there.
Try it again. What's your name?
I'm Anna.
Oh, I love
There
it.
is. Anna, what's your question?
So, Fairy Tale was my first anime.
Good choice.
Not buy something.
What was your favorite part about doing Natsu? Because he's one of my favorite characters.
Favorite part about doing Natsu? That he survives through all the episodes.
Especially being a main character.
Yeah. Being an MC doesn't hurt. For me, it's like, what has really been a gift of that show has really changed my life. Because it's been a real delight to see how it's affected and influenced your life and folks that watch it. That's such a gift that how many people get to say they're a part of something like that gets to flavor people's lives? So few. And so I really try to cherish that and really take in that Fairy Tale has been a show that has been so impactful and stuck with people. And I'm grateful for that, especially with how many shows and games and books and podcasts and that come out, that it's been able to cut through that noise and still find a home. So thank you for always leaving the guest room open for Fairy Tale, no matter what hour it comes over. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then she's shy. This is my sister Abigail.
Hi, sister. Thank you for being here.
And then her question was, she has her first theater performance coming up soon. She wants to know if you have any advice for her.
First theater performance, what are you doing? What show? What's that?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Is that a Neil Simon? That's great. Little theater joke. Very cool. Okay, so how long have you been rehearsing? A week? Okay, all right. You'd like to play fast and loose here with these lines, these memorizations, okay? So you got all your lines memorized, right? Who are you playing?
Coral.
Okay, all right, Coral, nice. Okay, so advice. When have you done, this is your first theater thing? Okay, when you go out on the stage, just know that everyone in the audience, they're rooting for you. They want you to succeed. They wish nothing but the best for you. So when you go out there and you feel nervous, just know that you've got a whole audience of cheerleaders rooting for you. So you don't have to feel nervous, because they're there to lift you up. They're there to make sure you shine. They want to see you shine on that stage, yeah? That's the best advice I can give you. They're not against you. They're on your team. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You need to record me, though. I'm recording the whole thing. Get up there.
Jeremiah.
Hi, what's your name?
Yeah, we go way back. Me and Todd.
Oh, okay, so you guys are all friends.
Smartest man in the room right here.
There it is. Well, smartest man in the room, what's your smart question?
You gonna ask me a question first?
We're running a little short on time, but you challenged me, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. All right, smartest man in the room.
I got a question.
Ooh, hit me with it.
What's something you've done in 2025 that you are supremely proud of?
Oh, there it is.
Withstanding the job search in engineering.
Okay.
It's been tough.
That's a tough one.
But yeah, I mean, just perseverance.
Good for you, though.
You need that in all forms of life.
You may see the fruit of that soon.
And you said engineering? Good for you, man. What's your question?
So I wanted to ask you about the occlusion that VO artists experience that you mentioned earlier, and not necessarily being highlighted in marketing and all that. I noticed that in Japan, they tend to do that. I don't know if you've seen that, but I know some of my Japanese friends would be like, hey, have you seen this? They're promoting this because it has this voice actor in it. So do you think the impetus is on the production crews or on the fans for really rooting for the VO artists to get their...
I think organically the audience highlights the VO talent behind the roles organically. I think that it costs the same for the marketing teams to highlight the voice actors as it does to not. It's a choice. I think they, like for example, there's a show coming out later this month that I co-directed on for Disney Hulu, and they give a very specific guideline in terms of like marketing. They say you can do this, you can't do this, you can say this, you can't say this. And what I notice in all of it is they don't create, and this isn't just them, there's a lot, they don't create, it's very rare when you find a company that creates marketing material for you. It's like, don't you have a department called marketing that you could create this stuff and give it to the actors? It's very rare where you see that. I see it more in independent productions where they highlight the actors involved, and it's strange. Like the companies, it really is a VO thing, because when you see Sonic 3, when that came out, yes, you knew a Sonic movie was coming, but what were the things they promoted? Keanu Reeves' Shadow, Idris Elba's Knuckles, but then it's almost like Ben Schwartz as Sonic. They don't promote him. They're like, you know he's in it. It's weird how they don't. If that were my marketing thing, I'd be like, he's coming back for a third time. The Sonic is going to stay that awesome quality that you got from the first one. But it's weird. They highlight them because they're on camera people, not because they're voiceover actors. And then when you see them talk, you're like, that's it? I love Keanu. But when he plays Shadow, everything is right here. Martha. Maria. What, Sonic, what are you doing? Why are you keeping the energy rings from me? Robotnik, you're making me angry.
Like, almost a little out of breath.
Yeah, it's like, what? So I think it is on the industry to, and that's why right now, when we're on a strike for video games, we have a really tough time because we're not highlighting the actors involved. We don't highlight all the people that make these things sound good. And so now that we're trying to do that, they're just, this last week, they tried to highlight a lot of actors, Fred Tatasciore, Neil Newbon, Matt Mercer, Troy Baker. Well, it's too little too late. Now you're trying to throw the big guns in front of us. So like, these actors are important. Where you have to highlight them the whole time. You can't just do it in a time of need when we need to try to get AI protections for these video games. You should be treating the folks that make these, because these games are interactive movies at this point. So why aren't we highlighting the actors involved like that? It's still like, no, play Last of Us, but don't talk about who the actors are. It's just the story of Joel and, no, the actors that portray them, we need to get more into that minutia, I feel like, personally. That's why we don't have any traction with this strike. Because you spend all this time not highlighting who voices these characters. Now you want to say it's important to protect them? Well, you weren't highlighting them before. That's my gripe.
Excellent
we
question.
thank you for your guys for your fight. And
thank you.
So much support. I've seen so much support rising for video protections, and we're here for you.
I am. Thank you so much. Good luck in your engineering hunt.
Alrighty, guys. So we are going to do a rapid fire round real quick, so we stay on time. So what's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle, what's your question?
I'm a fan of Fairy Tale. Big fan of that too, definitely. My rapid fire question would be: is it hard to get into the voice acting industry at this time?
Is it hard to get into voiceover now?
Yes.
Thankfully, I came into the industry at a much different era. Now it is much in a way there are more opportunities now, but the market is flooded with voices. So it can work, but there was a time the time of VO that I came into doesn't exist anymore, because there's just, back when I was starting, when a Soul Eater would come out, that was the one show like that you would have for a year. Now, there's no show like Soul Eater, but shows in similar genres come out by the half dozen. And so you as a consumer have so much homework to do. You have so many shows to watch, so many games to play. It's stressful because you're like, I can't fan over this one show because I got to finish it and move on to the next one. And I can't fan over that because I got to read this over here, and I got to play that game over there. So it's very rare when something breaks through, like a Baldur's Gate breaks through, and that becomes like a massive success. That's a rare thing. And I think it's because we have so much content. Like if Paramount Plus and Hulu and Netflix, if they go, you know what? They don't even have to say it. But if they just didn't release anything new for 6 months, no one would notice. We have so much stuff to watch. I don't need stuff from them every week. I feel like there's someone in a boardroom saying, like, if we don't release stuff this week, Todd's going to notice, and we got to... Like, I won't know. I got plenty to watch. I got plenty to read, plenty to play. I'm great. Like, I don't need any more stuff released this year. I'm good. But so I think it's a different... For VO now, there are more opportunities, but I would say that the overall, it's harder to find quality because it's much more of a throw something against the wall and see if it sticks approach now, I feel like.
Excellent question, sir. Thank you. All right. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Emerald.
Hello. Emerald, what's your question?
You mentioned Soul Eater earlier, just a bit ago. Soul Eater was my first anime. I just want to know what it was like recording for Deck the Kid.
Well, we had to get approval from Japan. So when we were auditioning for that show, I was at a lunch with some folks from Funimation, and they go, "We have this new show coming called Soul Eater. You should look out for this. There's this kid in there that rides a skateboard. I think that would be up your alley." Didn't know anything about Soul Eater. Go in to record it. Japan has to review the files, and then they give approval. And so then when I got approved, when we're working on Soul Eater, we don't know what it's going to become. So we're just like, especially at that time at Funimation, I'm recording there from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I'm there 12 hours a day. So it's just another show. I'm just like working on it like I would with Sergeant Frog, and then I go down the hall and work on Free and da-da. And so it didn't stand out as something that was like exceptional at the time, because we were in a sea of anime. As we started getting further in, and I started to notice the intelligence of the show and the artistry, then I was like, oh, okay, this is something a little different. Then, of course, we work on Soul Eater Not, and it's kind of sucked. But I'm hoping that we do a Brotherhood reboot of Soul Eater, especially because of Fire Force's tie-in, where the lead is the grandfather of Death the Kid. So hopefully that'll be something we see in the future.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming to Wichita. It's amazing to have you here.
Well, thank you for the kindness. Thanks for the hospitality.
Thank you for your question, Emerald. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Natalia.
Hello.
Natalia, this is going to be our last question, so you're the grand finale.
All right. You're actually my favorite voice actor.
Oh, I love it.
And my first anime that you were in it was Ghost Hunt. And
my favorite Christmas episode.
Yes.
The most uplifting Christmas episode.
Yep, I love it, and you kind of make my whole day. I don't know. It's your voice, and all I can see is Natsu and Naru. I'm seeing Natsu and Naru. My question is, do you watch your anime shows that you're in?
I'll see clips every now and then, just because sometimes it's weird how our brains work. It's sometimes I'm sitting there and looking at the birds outside, and I'm like, I worked on a game once. I wonder if that clip is out there. And I don't know why maybe that's why we only understand so little of our brains still nowadays. We have complete sciences devoted to it, and we still only understand a little bit. But yeah, I don't know why I'm looking at birds and it makes me think of that time I worked on Street Fighter, but yeah, sometimes I do. For me, I'm always behind on recording deadlines. So maybe that's a way I do some stress relief, is I'm like, oh, I can finish a project, and then I go see it maybe. But yeah, no, every now and then. But thank you for your kind words. Thank you for watching.
Well, I wanted to say thank you for coming to a small yet large place.
Well, no, that's the thing is that's what I was talking about earlier, is that no matter where I go in the world, the language is the same. It's always the language of kindness. And it's so great to see how fluent we all are in that. And I really am thankful for that. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Todd Haberkorn.